Caution. Entertainment Banter uses potty language that most Sunday school teachers would not approve of. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back, everybody, to Entertainment Banter. My name is Joel.
And I'm Matt.
With a T. And I bring you another episode of Entertainment Banter. Did I already say that?
Yes, yes. You started drinking early. I don't know if that's the answer.
Just pour another one, guys. I think this is for. I'm really clanking, guys. This is real shit.
Oh my goodness! All right.
So I'm the only reason why I'm drinking. Matt can probably explain why I'm drinking because what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I never want to stop talking about it, but you know what? I promise after this 9, I won't care as much. I mean, from beginning to end. So that means you got to give me a chance to watch it and then talk about it.
So you're talking about
people
episode 9.
Don't know what we're talking about, Joel. So
you're saying episode 9?
Episode 9 of what, Joel? What are we talking about?
Well, Marvel's way past 9, so obviously we're not talking about Marvel today. But the other thing we always talk about along the Disney intellectual properties is Star Wars.
Star Wars, Joel.
Star Wars. So they just dropped the teaser at the Star Wars celebration in Florida, which I'm sure Matt is creaming his pants over.
It was in Chicago, but that's okay.
Oh, I thought it was in Florida.
That's why I'm here.
Let me pour another drink. Let me pour another drink.
Yep, have another drink, Joel. All right. On the planet Mars Star Wars celebration.
Planet Mars is having this. Planet Mars. I don't know the reference. So.
Seriously, listen, dude. You gotta make it through the first 2 minutes of the podcast.
Okay, so Star Wars, they dropped the teaser trailer, and I have to say, I am not a fan of Star Wars, and we probably know that from the hundreds of podcasts we've done, which is only 50.
The fact that you're only a fan of Solo pretty much explains that.
That is a good good call. So I'm not a fan of Star Wars. It was force-fed to me as a child, but they always know how to make a trailer. Like, right. This trailer was really good. Like, the opening of her, with Luke talking, and she pulls the lightsaber, and she jumps through a TIE fighter, whatever, coming at her?
I'm assuming it's Kylo Ren's spaceship.
Sure. Everyone's assuming that at this point. And that was a really cool scene. So, I mean, that draws you in. You're like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And they make you start guessing what we're going to be seeing. So there's a lot of guesses already. People think that, Kylo and Rey are related in some way or something like that. And and of course, we talked about that. But as you watch the teaser, as you break it down, you're watching her with the lightsaber. She has Luke Skywalker's lightsaber.
Yeah,
Luke is talking about, people are never forgotten, blah, blah, blah. And then there's all these cool little scenes, and you see Lando, what's his last name? Lando?
Calrissian.
Oh, whatever. You wouldn't know that, nerd.
Just keep going.
So you see him, and he wasn't in the other two, right? So they bring him back, right?
Yeah.
So
they got to bring back all the legacy characters before they
kill him. And he's flying the Millennium Falcon, and I'm sure we're going to see other characters that they didn't show in there. They wanted to show him, and they say leading this up, and all of a sudden, you look in the distance and how things can't be forgotten, and some people are no one's ever gone forever, and they mentioned that. And, the Force always showed they can come back in spiritual form, right? Yoda.
Absolutely.
And there's words that Hayden Christensen may be appearing in this movie as well in some kind of form.
That is true. Yes,
garbage character, actor, not the character, him as a human being.
We talked about this before too. It could have been bad direction.
I've seen his other movies. And then we see when they're talking about and people are never forgotten or lost. They show almost looks like a destroyed Death Star in the background.
Yes, assumed from Return of the Jedi.
Of course. So you're seeing all these things are kind of leading up okay, we're going to have another Death Star instance. But then you hear the Emperor laugh. And it's
yes, you do.
Well, it kind of brings chills to you. And it's kind of
oh, yeah, absolutely.
You have Luke talking and then the Emperor laughing. That dynamic there is very neat just because of the whole conflict they had during the last movie, which was great. Absolutely. We didn't hear Darth Vader. We didn't hear any of that. We didn't hear. I think that's the new traditional. Hearing the trailer, you're like, right. there's Darth Vader. But hearing the Emperor's laugh made a whole new level to this teaser, which was very interesting.
Sure.
So it did spark my interest, and I will go see the movie because these movies are well made.
Yes.
But to storyline wise, I don't know what direction they're going, but they imply, because this is called what, the rise of the Skywalker? What are they calling it?
Yes, yeah, the Rise of Skywalker.
So they're making assumptions that Rey, like they make it seem like Rey is a Skywalker. But how is she a Skywalker? Is she Kylo Ren's sister? Is she Luke's daughter? Is she another Skywalker we don't know about?
There's a lot of speculation with all of this. Are you set for a while? Did you get what you wanted your question out? That's it?
Of the whole Star Wars thing?
Yeah, with the Rey question.
It's daunting. You know more. Of course, when we watched the teaser at work, everyone had something to say of they could have gone in so many directions. They chose this route. Yada, yada, yada. They could have been making movies forever. But instead they decided, like, they're deciding to end it on this movie. Like, it seems like they're trying to end the Skywalker line here.
No question about it. Well, and, it's really hard. Really, really hard for me. I know you don't believe it, but it's really hard for me to... I feel like all I do is bash Disney, but you got to look at it from a marketing standpoint. Disney wants the old legacy characters done away with so that they can focus on what they create from here on out. Disney wants to reboot Star Wars, and their way of doing it is by killing off the past and just starting with their own new characters and own new shows and going that way. If you have any doubts about what I'm saying, just look at the Muppet movies. When Disney got the Muppets, they introduced I can't even remember his name. That's how underwhelming he is. But Wilbur or something, I can't even remember his name. But the orange puppet, and all he does, his talent is whistling. And he did 2 movies. And then when
the chef?
No. The most recent Muppet movies they made, I forget the name of his character that Disney created. He was the star. And the movie focused mostly around him for 2 movies. And they focused more on his character and put all the major Muppet characters kind of on the back burner. And they did it again with their Muppet Babies. They introduced a new girl character called Summer. And they got rid of all or half of the other Muppet characters that were in that show originally. So that's the formula that Disney does, is they'll buy a brand. They'll keep what kept that brand alive. If it's Kermit the Frog, they keep Kermit the Frog. They'll keep Luke Skywalker. They'll keep all of these things, but they won't keep them for long. They want to push their brand. They want their character they created out in the public eye and on the T-shirts and in the toy stores and on the TV shows. So that's Disney Plus. Look at that as a perfect example. The Mandalorian. And they're going to have a show about Caspian, or whatever the hell his name is, the guy from Rogue One, who didn't exist until Disney made Rogue One. And now he's got his own TV show.
Of course he does. Think it about this way. Don't think it about, like, I'm trying to save the franchise. Disney, you look on the corporate side. Of course they want to make money. Of course they want theirs to win. Of course they want that to hand out. And you can't rebuild on something that's already dying, because Lucas is kind of already done. So now they want to create something new off that same legacy kind of thing.
That's a fair comment, except I disagree with it because they're not doing it with Marvel. They did it right with Marvel.
You know how big Marvel is? There is so many characters.
I know.
I don't think they can even start that yet until they kill off these characters.
Look at it this way. I think we even talked about it in the previous podcast. We're getting away from the trailer a little bit, but if they just look at it this way, if they had done 7, 8, and 9, and the focus point on 7, 8, 9 was the original cast from beginning to end, all of these old people were in 7, 8, 9. And they had Rey, they had Finn, they had Poe in the movies, but they were on the back burner. And then by the end of 9, the old cast is kind of written out. I guarantee you the fan base would have been more accepting of Rey, Finn, and Poe for, say, 10, 11, 12, and beyond. You could have introduced a whole new element that Finn, Rey, and Poe come up against, and it could have gone on for another at least 9 movies if they really did it right. Because if you figured Rey, Finn, and Poe were introduced in 7, 8, 9, and you used the original cast members for all three the whole time, really big, and then they kind of faded out by the 9, you could have had 6 more movies with just Rafe and Poe facing off new threats, new enemies, and I guarantee you the fan base would have been more. So
you're telling me accepting. They could have brought the franchise back to life in a sense, back to life,
and introduced their characters
with the main characters they used for 3 movies at least, maybe in just 2.
Yep. As long as it was done well and efficiently.
And then brought in. And they had these characters there, and then is this what you kind of thought was going to happen?
I did. I don't know why. I think that's why, and I hate talking about it so much because
do you hate talking about it too much? I feel like you like talking about it all the time.
No, it's just I don't like talking about it because the more I think about it, the more I talk about it, it's more of a tragedy in my mind because Disney could have won big, and fans could have won big, but it's like they didn't have that plan, and Rian Johnson was the one. That it's clear that at that point in time, that's what changed. That's what made it abundantly clear they didn't have a game plan. And that's where people start turning the coin on against Disney and saying stuff like, well, they just wanted to pump out movies. They just want to stick, poop in a box and put Star Wars on it and say that's a great brand, so everyone's going to buy it. Like, because of that movie, Disney's reputation is forever tainted with Star Wars. And that's really a damn shame because they are a good company. I just feel like sometimes the people that are making these decisions are just, all they see is the dollar signs and in the immediate, like, oh, we got Star Wars, we got to make Star Wars movies. It's a given. But they don't take the time to actually plan it out and make it last like a marathon for a long extended period of time instead of a sprint.
So they've taken the time to do, I think the movies are quality. I just don't think the story is quality what you're looking for.
Right. And that's the key because that's the whole reason why you watch movies is you like a character. You want to see what those characters do. And some people have been waiting 40 years to see these characters back in action. And after 40 years, that's what you get. And I think that's what the people making these movies at Disney didn't understand. Because I'm not going to blame everybody at Lucasfilm because I don't think it's... I still feel like Iger has more say as to what's going on than anything.
Do you think Iger's really that involved?
He's the only executive I've seen in the credits of a Star Wars movie.
But I mean, he wants to have his name in the credits, but do you think he's really making a voice heard?
I do. And I do, because look at whatever Disney wants to represent, that is clear in all of their movies. What agendas they want to push. So if you see those agendas being pushed, it's because here's the thing. Like if I don't know how to describe it other than if I have a specific agenda that I want to push, it's okay to push it in, say, the Marvel universe. It's okay to push it maybe just in the Star Wars universe. It's okay to push it just in the Disney Pixar or the Disney animation universe. But to see it in all 4, that's what makes it tough to swallow. So it's harder to argue that it's not an agenda if it's in every friggin' film they pump out.
You may be onto something only because we opened a certain show, you and I together, that Iger did come see. We didn't think he would, but he absolutely did. And he made a point to point out what he liked in it and what he didn't like. And there's reasons why we didn't cut certain things because certain people liked it. Now, a lot of the execs that were with him were literally just yes people. So,
of course, they want to keep their jobs.
So I would hate that as if I was Iger and all I had was yes men. I'd be like, no, I want you to argue with me.
I don't know. I disagree. I feel like when you're that high up, you just want your butt kissers. I mean, honestly, you want your butt kissers.
You need someone to challenge you, so then you get better ideas. If you're not being challenged,
a good person would. Yes, a good person would say, "Hey, why don't we think about this for a second?"
There's a reason why I still talk to certain people at work because I get challenged.
Of course, absolutely, and that's how you grow. We talked a lot about the philosophy and the anger behind all of this, but let's go back to the trailer.
Tell me, Matt. Tell me what you thought you saw in that trailer. Tell me what you think is going to happen. Tell me your prediction for Episode 9.
Well, there's rumors going around.
Tell me.
I'm losing you for a second. What did you say?
I said tell me.
I'm going to. I'm going to tell you. All right. Well,
tell me, Matt.
First, Dear God, let me tell you. How many? Stop! Put the bottle down, for God's sake.
Never.
All right, so when it comes to the trailer itself, if you look at it for a trailer for what it is, say you never saw any Star Wars movie except, and this is the first one you're going to see, it looked awesome. It looked absolutely cool. And I'm not like the trolls online that hated Star Wars because Rey was a protege when it comes to the Force. I think that's actually a really cool thought. To someone that comes from nothing is the most powerful being in the galaxy and doesn't even know it.
Skywalker.
I mean, and she says it in The Force Awakens. She says, something inside of me is awake and I don't know what to do with it. So it's almost like that something, the Force, obviously, is not possessing her, but she was aware that she couldn't control it, which says that it's not just her. It's not like, oh, one day I'm a badass. It's like, no, she's scared. She realizes she's got some awesome stuff inside her and she doesn't know how to use it. So for all of those people that are hating on her because she didn't train with Luke and stuff, I agree. I was upset with that scene too, but it wasn't because I thought she shouldn't be a prodigy. I just thought that we got robbed of Luke scenes. Seeing what Luke manifested into over the years, because he was also really strong with it, and we were expecting to see some amazing stuff.
Which makes me wonder about him, because we saw Return of the Jedi and we saw a peak of what he could do.
Right.
And now we have, like, I'm going to go on, like, breaking the fourth wall. We have all this technology to do some cool stuff, and we can finally show Luke doing some awesome fucking shit. Right. And, like, yeah, he astro projected himself there, right. And it was really cool what he did, but that was the extent of it.
Right, that's not worth waiting 40 years for.
Is that 40 years?
We wanted to see more.
You wanted to see more with Luke, absolutely. Yeah. And they didn't give you that shot. They kind of like pissed on you. They kind of pissed on you.
They did. But getting back to this trailer, episode 9 trailer, I think there's two fronts. One is, I told my wife when I saw it, like, it's pretty brazen that they call it the Rise of Skywalker, because it's one of those things where everybody wants Rey to be a Skywalker. And for the most part, everybody wants Rey to be Luke's child. I mean, I'm guaranteeing that's the majority of what people want to see.
Yes.
The metaphors are there. It's always about Luke's lightsaber. I mean, follow Luke's lightsaber. It started with Anakin Skywalker. It went to Luke. It's Anakin's, but it went to Luke. Mm-hmm. And then it went to Rey.
Wasn't it Obi-Wan's for a little bit, or no?
No, Obi-Wan was just holding on to it, right? But my thing is, though, Luke's theme plays every time Rey has it. Every time. You know, and, like, especially when she does something amazing. And so, to me, there's just, writing-wise, it could just be, they could just be cock-teasing us. You know, it could be that Rey is Luke's daughter, and that they're going to do all this misdirection, and, well, I'm not sure, wait till you see the movie.
They do that shit. They do the teaser to see, like, set you up what you may want to see, and then right. It's not, and then it's...
But I will say, the movie for me, if she's not Luke's daughter, will be very disappointing, because I feel like that's the whole point. The whole point of this franchise is about the Skywalkers. And the Rise of the Skywalker, well, there's only 3 that we're aware of. There's Luke, who's a Force ghost now. There's Kylo Ren.
Are we sure he's a Force ghost now
Leia,
and all that?
And there's Leia. Yeah, and there's Leia.
You saw Leia in the trailer hugging Rey. Right. So is she still alive? What I'm saying, didn't she die in the movie?
She's alive in the story. No, she's alive in the story.
Okay, they didn't kill her off. Made it seem like they did.
No.
In the trailer,
it could have been an easy out. But they didn't do it.
Interesting.
The thing is, though, so which Skywalker out of those 3 are going to rise? Is Luke going to come out of the grave like?
Well, did he really go to the Force? Did he disappeared, or whatever he did? But...
Well, if people are arguing that if Palpatine can come back, so can Luke. But I don't think that's the case. Emperor Palpatine.
So you already read online about this teaser?
No. My thing is, you don't have to.
You already dug.
No. My thing is, the books have brought him back numerous ways. What I think would be cool is he never did die. I think that would be awesome. That he just lying in. Yeah, that he was just lying in wait
because snare. Oh, they killed him, right?
Because you see him. No, you just see Darth Vader throw him down the Death Star, and that's
it.
But
who's Snape? Is that the guy that's controlling Kylo Ren? Snoke. Did he die?
Well, he's gone. Yeah, he died. Okay. And so the thing is, he's not even. But see, the cool thing about the Emperor is, when you watch the prequels, they suggested that he was manipulating the entire Jedi population without them even knowing it. So who's to say he couldn't do it again? You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm dead. And he just lies in wake. He takes Snoke and uses Snoke as a patsy, much like he used Dooku as a patsy. And then to get to the real person, in the case of Dooku, it was Vader or Anakin. And in this case, it was maybe to get to Kylo Ren. So to me, that's just a real easy, fun. I would hope it's just that simple. It'd be kind of annoying or dumb to me if it's a clone or something. He transforms his mind into somebody else. There's no need for that. The Emperor was powerful enough. You could easily see him coming back as just how he was. I mean, that's like the comics. You don't see them die; they're not dead. So I don't know. It'll be cool to see. The problem I'm having is, that Disney's trying to do damage control for the original fans. That's why you're seeing a whole bunch of old cast members coming back as much as possible. And they're going to purposely bring flashbacks for Luke, so we get a chance to see Luke be more of a badass than we did in Last Jedi.
We shall see.
It's damage control for The Last Jedi. But if J.J. Abrams honors
Jar Jar Abrams?
the people... Yeah, Jar Jar Abrams. If he honors the original cast members while allowing the new cast to grow, it will be a great movie. And I hope it heals all wounds, because this is it. Disney's already been too prideful and said this is the end of the Skywalkers, which, in my opinion, why would you show your cards like that? Like, just make the movie and don't say it's the end of the Skywalkers.
It just said Rise of Skywalker. It didn't say end.
No. Disney has come out and said that this is the last movie involving the Skywalkers.
So, involving, meaning like they're the main point, doesn't mean they're not going to be...
No, that means no more Skywalkers in movies.
They can take back what they say. So...
Oh, really? You mean like all the times that they post dates that they're going to open shows or other things, even though they're still being built or anything like that? Is that what you're telling me?
Episodes 1 to...
They've never backed down. They've never backed down on that.
Shut up for a second. Episodes 1, 2, and 3. Of course, episode 1 was a very big letdown, I've heard. And episode 2 was a very letdown. Did you like episode 3?
It's the same thing. It was... I wish episode 3 was episode 2. I wish they had... It's like the sequels lately have been the worst ones. Like, if episode 3 was episode 2, and then episode 3 was Darth Vader just whooping the shit out of Jedis, I would have been fine with it.
Is that what he did, supposedly?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, you figure episode 1, it's a 2-hour and, 15-minute movie, and 45 minutes of that movie alone is a pod race scene. 45 minutes of a 2-hour movie is pod racing. That was
fucking...
To me, that says... that's not, what kind of... How's that going to drive the plot? You know what I mean? You just wasted 45 precious minutes of screen time.
45 minutes?
Yeah. So, like, how do you... You know what I mean? How are you supposed to tell the whole story of Darth Vader when you're doing that in a film? It's impossible, you know? So
The Revenge of the Sith, is that the last movie, right?
Of the prequels, yes.
It didn't encourage you to like the other. So even though that was kind of a good movie, because it was actually better of the 3, right?
Well, again, it was the same thing, like at Disney, where it was damage control.
Well, I'm asking you a simple question, Matt. I'm asking you a simple question.
Ask it.
Did the third movie redeem the other 2? Like, did you then go back and go, okay, I can deal with the other 2 since the third was okay? Your face is telling me no.
No, I mean, there was, like anything, there was cool scenes,
so
but it wasn't redeemable.
With saying that, you're unhappy. You liked The Force Awakenings, but you did not like... What was the second one called again?
Last
Jedi.
Yeah.
So you're telling me, like, if this third movie is excellent and great, will that forgive the past? Will that help you?
For this trilogy,
yes.
I would say yes.
Will that help you?
Yes. Yes.
Because was episode 6 to 7, was that those good 2 movies together to go next to? Like, can you watch 6 and watch 7 and be cool with that?
Yeah, I think it was excellent. I thought it was a nice transition. Absolutely.
So then, 8 is movie 8 is the problem child. Then you're trying to tell me, and if 9 may redeem 8,
it depends on what JJ wrote.
Okay. He directed. He didn't write it, did he?
Yes, he did. And he and I can't remember the other guy's name right at the time, but there's 2 people that wrote it.
Have you talked to Lucas about this?
He hasn't returned my calls, but he still might be on vacation. He got mad at me because I beat him at chess the other day.
I know that's a lie because
you beat him at chess the other day?
No, I have him locked in my closet.
All right. Well, so long story short, I think the trailer looks awesome. I'm all for Rey. I love Rey's character. I love Finn. I love Poe. I hope the only positive is if Rey is not a Skywalker, then I hope Disney's listening and they utilize those 3 characters in other films. But I have a feeling they're going to kill off some people, so we'll see what happens.
People are going to die, and it's going to be a blockbuster, and it's going to be fun, and it's not going to be challenging a Marvel movie at that time because we all know the almighty Endgame is going to destroy the market. So, with all that being said...
Well, it kind of already has.
I know. I will go see the movie.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you for listening to Entertainment Banter. My name is Matt.
And my name is The Joel. And I'm done.
What's that, boy? Timmy stuck down a well again? Well, I'm going to watch this next episode of Entertainment Banter.